What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be doing some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow for Tesla. I'm also going to be talking about what's going on with the SPY, with Janet Yellen, and the overall economy, and how these things can affect Tesla going forward. I'm going to talk about what the news is saying about Tesla and what Elon Musk, the man, the myth, the legend, Elon Musk, tweeted on his Twitter page. That's great news for Tesla as we have some major bullish catalysts coming out for next year. And before I break anything down involving Elon Musk and the price action of Tesla, before I give you guys my price prediction, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner, so don't take any of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. Not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed 6 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And you could always sell these 6 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some Tesla shares for free in this limited time offer that ends in just 2 days. So please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, we're just a little bit in the green, up about 0.25%, and we ended up closing a little bit lower than I had predicted, but we were still green just as I had imagined. So looking at Tesla, things are looking all right now, not necessarily in the best of states, and there are some important things we have to look at when it comes to the things that affects Tesla. So one of the things that affects Tesla would be the overall market. The SPY and the NASDAQ kind of show that. And what you'll notice is we had a very strange day today for the SPY, in my opinion. The beginning of the day was very choppy, kind of strange. We did get a bit of a drop, but we managed to actually push out after that, get a nice breakdown starting to push out during the last few hours, and the SPY ended up touching that 415 level. So we have this key resistance level that the SPY is kind of being held back by, but it's almost looking like, from my perspective, it looks almost as if the SPY kind of pushed really hard towards the end of the day to stay green, and we're at that key resistance level. So I'm a little bit concerned about how this could affect us going into tomorrow, because if you look at this right here, if you look at the max pain of the SPY, given the options chain, max pain is at 412 for tomorrow. But I do think we should have a pretty much a sideways day, very similar to this. But what does concern me a little bit more would be the Thursday/Friday days, because on Friday, max pain is at 406. So I'm not sure if institutions are going to load up on calls at the last minute and change this. But as of right now, what's weird is on the 10th of June, we also have at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time the CPI report coming out. So why is it that institutions, big money, is preparing for a potential dip in the SPY? They could be potentially preparing just because they don't truly know what inflation will be like. But that's just something I want to just put out there. Now, the Treasury Secretary, right, Janet Yellen, she stated actually that she expects inflation to remain high, but she did talk about the fact that the Fed is doing some things to, how should I say this, improve the situation. She also mentioned that inflation is not necessarily transitory, and better words could have been used. And I find that pretty comical. But at the end of the day, like I said before, this is kind of big news for her to say that she expects inflation to remain high. I mean, it wasn't necessarily a surprise to us, but just because it remains high, it doesn't mean that it's just the end of the world. I mean, 7%, 8% could still be kind of high, but we want to see it starting to decline. Now, another thing that's big is we're seeing a lot of people talking about how we could be on the brink of a recession, this and that, but right now it's not necessarily affecting the market like it did from before. So we can't confirm this just yet. Data may suggest it, but we can't confirm this until we get 2 negative GDP quarters and look at other metrics like that. And we don't have the data until the data won't come out until like July or August. So it's going to take time to confirm these fears, but I'm not necessarily scared about that. So what do I expect for tomorrow for the SPY, for Tesla, for the markets? And what I first want to look at is what's happening to the SPY. So what I think the SPY is going to do is we kind of closed at this high end. Tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually drop during open. We might get a bit of a pullback, come back to this key zone, and we might actually treat that 412 range as new support, which is actually just another sign that we're slowly starting to ascend. We might get something very similar. We may get a nice push at the very end, very similar to what happened today. And I do think we might see that for the SPY for tomorrow. Now, for the NASDAQ, and before I say that, it's possible for us to be very sideways. I mean, I think it's going to be a very close day. We might be just a tiny bit red or a tiny bit green for the SPY. But for the NASDAQ, very, very similar story. Look at the price action of the NASDAQ. You could see the NASDAQ almost filled this gap that was up here. And on top of that, we had this nice push up. We might have a little bit of downside for tomorrow into open, but then we should get a nice bounce and start to push up once again later throughout the day, especially during power hour. And I think it's more probable the Nasdaq is actually a little bit green, maybe even more green than that of the SPY. Now, for Tesla, how would this affect us given all of the factors I mentioned, given everything I essentially stated? So what I want to talk about is this right here. Something that wasn't too good was we did break below 700. That's not necessarily a good sign. But what is good is we did manage to actually close the day green at the very end by getting that nice push. So I really hope that as long as we don't like drop below 790 to 780, as long as we don't crash below that, we're going to be fine in my opinion. But if we get below 680, that's going to be concerning. I just want to put that out there. So be prepared for that. What do I predict is going to happen? Let's look at this from a more micro perspective. If you look at the price action, if we study it, we had this key resistance level at that 720 range. So I really want to see Tesla break 720. I actually think we have the potential to do that because we are expecting a bit of an upward trend. So for tomorrow, what I would anticipate is it's important to prepare for anything. So let me go over the bearish possibility, the bullish possibility, and finally my prediction, right? Because they tend to be a little bit different. In my prediction yesterday, I wasn't necessarily wrong about us being green. We just weren't as green as I thought we'd be, which is a-okay. Now, Tesla's just barely green, up 0.25%, which is once again not the best of signs. This right here, let's start off with the more bearish possibility. I would anticipate a bit of a drop into open, right? And what could happen is we might get rejected. Oh, I'm sorry, we may not hold that 700 support. And I want to see us bounce off 690, right? If we drop below that, that's a possibility. We could touch that 680 and we need to bounce above that. If we don't bounce off 680, we could start dropping. But I find that less probable considering the price action and the upward trend Tesla still seems to be respecting. But this right here, this line I'm about to turn red, this would be a more bearish possibility. Once again, I'm not predicting this. It's just something to be prepared for because it's very important to be prepared for anything in this market. Now, what's a more bullish or a more bullish possibility, right? If tomorrow comes and we actually get kind of rejected off that 720, it's possible we might actually start to break out above 720 and we kind of push to that 730 range, trade in this channel for some time. And it's possible we actually break a little bit above that, trade kind of like this. And we managed to actually close a little bit green in that 730 range. And I think I drew that a little bit too far, but I'm sure you guys get the point. But my point is this would be a more bullish possibility, right? It's very good to be prepared for the bullish and bearish possibilities. And for what I'm predicting, though, I don't necessarily think we're going to be that bullish because the price action doesn't look that great. I mean, we look like we were just barely in between good and bad. We did get that drop to 690, which is a little bit concerning, not too bad. So what I would anticipate is, like I said before, and this is the part where I do my prediction. So let me change the colors just for 1 second. Let me make that yellow. So for what I'm predicting, I'm going to make the line yellow. I think we might actually see a bit of a drop from the SPY in the NASDAQ in the morning, like I said. So we might actually see a drop very similar to what happened today. And it's possible Tesla goes back to that maybe 700 range, but hopefully we actually bounce above 700. I don't think we're going to drop below 690. And I'm anticipating some kind of sideways action followed by some pushes to the upside later throughout the day. And I think that it's very possible that we start to push even higher, as high as 730. We might actually break past 720, get another push because we've been testing 720 for so long, and it's possible we actually close on the more bullish side. So my sentiment is more towards the bullish side just for tomorrow. This yellow line, obviously, that's what I'm predicting. I think we're more likely to be in the green, but you should be prepared for anything given how this market is functioning and so on and so forth. So when it comes to what's going on in the news involving Tesla, we do have some great things coming out, okay? Right here, we're seeing that a lot of people are just going nuts over the Cybertruck right now because it has an updated interior, and they are talking about the windshield wiper, which I mean, people have their different opinions of it, but to me, it looks fine. And it was actually, there was an event that was set to potentially launch in California. So we're still going to wait and see what else is going to be coming out, the new specs that are coming out, the new battery that could be involved in it, the new interior. It's looking pretty darn good. And there are some things that Elon Musk did say about the Cybertruck. If we actually go right here, before he said that, let's actually talk about this. Then I'm going to talk about the Cybertruck, what Elon Musk just said. So this person known as Owen Sparks stated, are you in a particular state? Are you a California or like Texas or Florida homeowner? Here's how you could get a free solar panel, blah, blah, blah. Stop what you're doing right now if you want to become a millionaire, this and that. And Elon Musk talked about the fact that there are other companies out there that are using Tesla's name in vain. They're using it for solar and Powerwall technology, and they're going to put a stop to that. So that's very interesting to what they're essentially trying to do. And it may be kind of like an Easter egg of a big move Elon Musk and Tesla are about to make. Now, this person known as Pranay, I apologize if I said that wrong, he stated that the Tesla Cybertruck looks unreal, something straight out of a Blade Runner. And I think that's really funny. Now, if we go down right here, somebody asked, what is your favorite part about it? And Elon Musk says, it looks like the future. Then we have a lot of things he stated. He said, it will be our best product ever, in my opinion. CGI in real life. What resolution is life in 8K? That's a funny joke he made. He's letting you know, okay, the Cybertruck, in his opinion, is going to be their best product yet. Amazing news in my opinion. Absolutely bullish news. And when this comes out, I think the share price is really going to reflect some very, very good looking green candles. Elon Musk is warning you that these people out there that are saying Tesla's going to crash to zero, Tesla's going to crash to $100, Tesla has no future, they do not know what they're talking about, because we know the future in this stock. So, anyways, my prediction, I think I kind of messed up where I drew these lines, but anyways, this is essentially what I predicted. Um, I think I'm a little bit more on the bullish side. I would like us to break past 720. If we do, we could get stopped around 730. So I'm going to be more optimistic and say we should push a little bit in the green. Be prepared for a potential drop in the morning though, because of where the SPY and the Nasdaq opened. But later in the day, I do anticipate some more bullish price action. Now, as of right now, I don't have confirmation that Tesla is like in a bit of a downward trend, at least not yet. And we are still kind of oversold. And that's the one thing I like to keep on bringing up. We're still kind of oversold compared to where we were a couple of like a week ago, right? You could see we have this big gap. I do think this is bound to get filled within the next week or two. So I am still more on the bullish side than bearish side. And if you actually zoom out from a more micro perspective, a more macro perspective, sorry about that, look at this. We're still respecting an upward trend. You could see we were at the 620 mark. We pushed up really hard. We've been dropping and trading in this channel, but it's looking like the gap's going to get filled and we should start to push up relatively soon, in my opinion. So that's essentially what I'm predicting. If you look at the MACD, these other indicators that I often like to use, we are seeing some very tightening Bollinger's. I know it's a little hard to see. Let me make this bigger, kind of like this, just like that. Sorry about that. The Bolingers are getting really tight right here, which could be a sign of a breakout coming. It could be in either direction, but right now the upside seems a little bit more probable. As for the MACD, looking kind of sideways right here, RSI picking up just a little bit. So there are some improvements for the chart. I'm still a little bit more in favor of the bulls than the bears. I do think this thing is gradually going to increase. So that's essentially what I'm predicting, but be prepared for anything. That's the reason why I go over these bearish possibilities, right? You need to be prepared in case something happens. Watch your indicators carefully if you're trading it, and be very careful because sometimes the market could be kind of choppy and tricky. It could sometimes trick you, so be prepared for anything. Anyways, thank you. Have a great rest of the day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Tesla to the moon, and peace out.